Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Bearly Art Precision Craft Glue. I hope you'll stay tuned. I had some of my viewers ask me if I would review this glue, and so far I really like it, but I wanted to kind of do blow by blow with all of you so you know exactly how well it works. I'm going to glue a bunch of different surfaces so you can see how it glues different surfaces, and I'm going to show you all of the things that come with it and the different sizes that you can buy, etc. First off, let me tell you, it is kind of comparable to art glitter glue, but the difference is this can be shipped to the northern part of the United States and northern areas during the winter months, which is wonderful. If it freezes, it will thaw perfectly. There are no issues with that. So that's the very first important thing for you to know. There are different sizes of bottles, and I thought I would kind of go over those with you. Unfortunately, my printer decided, I'll put that off to the side first. My printer decided to lose its mind when it was doing this, so it didn't put the prices on the same page as the item. So let me go over this first. The mini is this little bottle. Oh, hold on, I lost my notes on what's in the mini. The mini has 2 fluid ounces, and in the mini you get the bottle that has all of your tips, and I'll go into that in a little bit later, plus your bottle and the lid that turns into you can either use this lid that comes with it or this one. This is not the mini. This would be half this size because this is a 4 ounce. Then the next set, oh, and it's $9.99 right now. Then the next set is called the bundle, and that comes with everything that I have. And the Bearly Art people were nice enough to send me all this stuff to try for my video, and I really, really appreciate that. And it comes with everything that I'll explain later, plus all of the information. Like I said, I'll go into it later. And this is an 11 ounce big honey bear. He's adorable. Then you have the 4 ounce bottle, plus you have the pins and the extra lid in that set. Then if you want just the 4 ounce jar, which is this one, but it also comes with the jar of pins, etc., it's $14.99. Again, it's 4 ounces. It's this size bottle. Then if you want just the bear with no other pins, this is a refill bottle, just this, and it has 11 ounces. It's $14.99. Then if you just want the little tips, just this bottle that has the tips in it, it's $4.99. Or if you just want the tip cap, a new cap, that's $4.99 as well. So hopefully I explained all of that. Then let's go into what it can and can't do. It's considered a durable glue. It thaws if it's frozen, as I've already said. It's clump resistant, and I know we've all had glue where when you've tried to get it to come out of the bottle and you squeeze it, a big ball of glue comes out. That's what this does not do. It will not give you that ball of glue, which is lovely. It's wrinkle resistant, and we'll talk about that when I get to very thin paper. It also is flexible, so if you have a project that you need the paper to bend when you're done, this is a great glue for that. It dries clear, and it's non-toxic, so your kids can use it. And let's go into some of the details on the back. I think I've already told you all of these things. I just want to make sure it says it's designed tough and it has a strong hold. I've already figured that out for myself, but I'm going to show you guys that too. You can use it for scrapbooks, paper, artwork, decorations, crafts, and glitter. I didn't find anywhere where it said wood, but I'm not sure if it does. Let me tell you how you take this off and put this on. All you do is you twist this cap off, and then you put this cap on. The really cool thing about their tips is that the tips themselves have like little wings. I don't know if you can see this. See those little pieces, those little green pieces that stick out right there? Those make it so that you can easily turn it on and off. And you don't want to screw this lid on really tightly because you don't want it to get stuck. And this is, because of those little flaps on there, all you have to do is do that to take it off. Ooh, I got glue coming out the top of my bottle, which I did not want to have happen. I'm going to get that to come out of there. Okay. Then, let's say you want to use this cap. This cap is really cool, and I'll show you why. You put that on, and look, you can't squeeze anything out. It's like a travel bottle, so that when you're on the road and you don't want to have any glue come out, you just put the little green one on and you're good to go. Then they have this black tip, and it puts out more glue. And then I decided I would show you what all these put out. Here is what the black tip puts out, and I'm using colored paper for a reason. It's a very wet glue, and it comes out very quickly. Let me take the black one off. And you really want to, what I do with these, which you probably shouldn't do, but what I do is I blow on them to make sure that I've got all the glue out of them before I store them. So there's that one. Let me get the little tip one. Their needle is much longer than the other needles. This is the needle that I use, that I got from a website that's for jewelry making. That's all the longer mine is. Look at the length of theirs. There's theirs compared to mine. Theirs about the same length. So theirs is about, I'd say, an inch longer than mine. And the way theirs is designed, it's called a cleaning needle, so that you can put it in the top and push it all the way in. It has a much looser fit than any needles I've ever played with before. Like, it's, you know, it really comes in and out easily. So that's the needle. I'm going to put that back with that one. And then let me show you how fast the glue comes out with this nozzle. Again, it comes out really fast. I have no trouble at all squeezing this and getting glue to come out. I have to say, this is the easiest fine tip I've ever used, the easiest glue I've ever used, and you know I don't lie about things like this because it's too important for people like me who have strength or hand issues to know that they can or can't use a fine tip, and we've all struggled with fine tips if we have any issues with our strength. So let me just show you that one more time. This is not even really squeezing. The glue is just flowing out. So let me fold this piece of paper. You can see there's quite a bit of glue on it, but what I want to do is I'm just going to put a very thin line on the edge. Ooh, got paper coming out of somewhere. And what we're going to see, this is kind of a thin cardboard. Oh, geez. Now it's on my lap. Luckily, it landed straight flat up, so I didn't get it all over. This is almost, it's thicker than regular paper. There we go. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over. This is just junk mail that I figured we would practice with. Okay. And I'm just going to let that sit for a second or two. And I'm literally saying a second or two. Here's what we're talking about. You know when they said that it doesn't get waffly? That's for, let's say you use very thin paper. And unfortunately I have to use white for this because I don't have any paper that's not white that would be this thin. And I'm just going to, again, putting a very thin line. I'm going to put it in the center because I want the whole piece to be glued down. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to use this to see about the waffling. Because if you've ever used thin paper and wet glue, you get bumps in it. Let's go back to this piece and see how we've done for gluing it shut. I did leave this end a little bit open, and it's already really hard. With that few seconds, it's already ripped the paper on the bottom. That's a fast glue. That's what we want when we're crafters. We want our glue to glue down quickly. Now, if you remember, I got a couple drips of glue on this, so I'm going to flip it over and see what this side looks like. Well, I'm going to try a different piece because I don't know. I don't want to say that it was from the glue when it could have been, in fact, from what I just dripped on it. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do is we're just going to use this paper, and I'm going to do the same thing. Very thin line going across the edges, but this time I'm going to put it like that. Because this is where you'd get the waffles. You know, like if you're making a scrapbook and you have to glue down a big piece of paper. This is when I had my notes on about the size of the pieces. And it did have that little fold right there, so you're not going to count that little fold if you can see that little fold right there. Can't count that. We can't count our notes, so we're going to use this side as what we're looking for to see if we get any bumps in it. So we're going to wait a little bit on that one. Next thing I'm going to glue down is something that's shiny paper, because shiny paper is often hard to glue down. So we're going to give this a whirl. I figured if we tried every kind of surface I can think of, and if we only use little amounts, we'll know if this works on every single surface that we would normally craft with. So I'm going to fold this one in half. And I don't know if you can see how hard it is for me to squeeze this in half, so you can tell it's not a very thin piece of cardboard. But don't worry, we're going to go thicker than this. I'm going to try every thickness of cardboard I can. Then I figured I would try, you know, like ads that are very thin paper, because why not? We want to make sure that every kind of cardstock or every kind of paper surface, will it wrinkle, will it waffle, will it look weird? We don't know. We're going to try it out. I have used it on cards and I really liked it, but I want to make sure that I try it on all these surfaces, because you never know what surfaces some of you are going to use it for in a craft project. Okay, there's that one, and this one, and that one. Now I'm going to try, this is like envelope paper. It's not very thick, but it's, you know, it's thicker than copy paper. So again, I'm trying not to use a lot, but I'm not good at that. If it's going to squeeze out a lot, I'm not good at stopping it from squeezing out, because, you know, I don't have a lot of control. I'll fold this one in half. Then I thought we would try some trickier things, like this kind of cardboard. So we're going to give this a whirl, and I'm going to just cut the ends off this. These weird, there's some weird folded tips. See the thickness of that cardboard? We're going to see if it'll stick together. We're going to give it a whirl. I'm trying not to use a ton of glue. I'm just trying to get the edges and a little bit in the center. Now probably if you were gluing these together, the way you would do it is you'd probably put a clamp on it. And I want to be fair, so I'm going to do it like I would normally do something this thick. And the way I would do it is I would put in clamps on the ends of it, just to hold it while it's setting up. I'm not talking long term, I'm just talking a few seconds. So there's that one. Let's go back to our piece that we're looking for a waffle in it. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I can see a waffle right there, and right there, and right there, and right there. Do you see those? I don't know if you do or not, but I do. So I thought I would show you that, because that's the first thing that I don't love. I don't know if I'm hitting an angle that you can see those or not. Maybe at that angle. Hopefully you can see them right here, right here, right here. Okay. Well, that was kind of a bummer. Let's go to, I think this was the next thing I glued shut. Let's see if we can rip this apart. Okay, this is the back part of the, yeah, there's no getting that apart without ripping it. And that's with it still wet. I mean, the glue, you can feel the glue is still wet in here, and it's stuck really well. And that's a cardboard. Then this was a paper that was an envelope, and the envelope, the part that I glued, is in here. I'm going to pull this back so we can kind of see it. I don't know, can you see right in there? There's waffles in there too. So it waffled on this one too. Hopefully, well, on this side you can see them better. You see these little bumps? That's what you don't want. But on the flip side of that, let's see if we can rip it apart. I bet we can't. Ugh, nope. There's no getting that apart without ripping it. Then this is our Joann's flyer. It's just a regular flyer. See if we can get it back apart. Nope, does a nice job. There's one thing that I really like to do when I try out these kinds of glue, and that is I really like to make sure that on cardstock that it is in fact a dried clear coat. Okay, I'm going to try 2 different colors of cardstock, and we'll see if either one of these, if it dries so you can see it, because it's supposed to dry clear. And what I take that to mean is not only does it dry so that it's not so you can't see it, but I also hope it means that you can't see a shininess. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here, and we're going to let it dry and see if it dries clear. So we'll do both of those like that. Hopefully they're in screen. The other thing you want to do, I want to make sure I go over this, you want to kind of burp this when you want to get the glue out of the tip. You want to make sure, okay, here's what I would do. I would take the cap off, this part, the needle off, and I would kind of do this so that you can see that the glue is not up in that top part. You don't want the glue to be in this hole. If you can see white in that hole, then it's not good. You want to just kind of tap it, or you can squeeze it. If you squeeze it, I'll show you when you squeeze it so it goes up like that. You don't want that to happen. If you do, you have to get the glue back out of that layer on the sides, because otherwise, like if you let that glue stay, see how it's white in here? If you let the glue stay, not there. If you let the glue stay in this inner loop, then you're going to end up having this glued on. So you want to get it out of there. Ooh. And the way I get it out of there is I just kind of lightly blow on it, because you want to clean that out. And you could use a Q-tip, but it's easier for me to not do anything but just kind of blow in that inner part so that you can get it cleaned out, and hopefully it's cleaned out. Then you're going to want to put this piece onto it just by putting on and turning it. You don't want to turn it so tight that you can't turn it back off. Like if I put it on way too tight and I can't turn it again to take it off, that's a problem. So you don't want to do that. You also don't want to turn this so tight that you can't get it back off. Those are both really important. And then I'm going to use my needle, because my needle is much tighter than the other needle, and that way I know I won't have a problem with it, and I will probably lose their needle, because you know I can. My needle's a little dirty, that's why it's stuck. But there's that, and let's see how we're doing here. I probably should have just done a flat line of glue to see if you could see it. You know when glue comes out from under a surface, like let's say you're gluing on embellishment. Well, let's say you put that much glue on, and you're going to glue something down, so that I have some glue sticking out from under it. Hopefully you can see right there. You see that glue that's sticking out from under it that's wet right now? I'm not trying to glue this down. I'm trying to make it so that we have an image that we've glued down with some glue seeping out. You know what I mean? Because that happens to me a lot, where I'll do something and then this end it's sticking out. Here's another one we'll try. I don't, it's the, hold on. You got those big globs, and that's my fault because I put too much glue there, but okay, let's look at, I still can see it. But then again, I always think I can see art glitter glue too. Well, let's do this. Let's put some glue behind this, and we'll have some seep out of this too. This is way more than you would use, but we're going to do it because I flip the paper over, so this is a completely clean side, and then I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to just move it up a little bit so that there's a little bit of glue sticking out. And I even did what I would normally do, which is I normally, if I had glue seep out from under it, I normally would do this and just wipe the glue. I don't know about if that's how you guys do it, but if I have glue that seeps out from under an embellishment, I just kind of wipe it off. Let's look at how our cardboard did. Remember, this is very thick cardboard. See how thick that is? And I didn't glue this end specifically so we could rip it off. Well, you're not going to get those apart unless you rip it. And I think it did a great job of holding that together. I'm really happy with that because that's one of those things, strong-wise, that you want it to do. Then let's look at this is the part where it leaked out from under the Merry Christmas. I don't really see it. I mean, it's right there. I can feel it because it's a little sticky, but I don't really see it. I hope maybe you do, but it's right there. And then our welcome little one, same thing. I don't see it at all. That's nice. I'm happy with that. Okay, one last thing I want to do with it, and we're gonna do this as a big test. This is plastic, and it is it's a diamond painting that is a stocking. And they said what they wanted me to do is they wanted me to, in the directions, they wanted me to stitch it together with this blue thread. Well, what I don't think they thought through was that blue thread going through plastic will eventually break. So I made it 3 stitches down and it broke. So I gave up on that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to do a line of glue to the very top and down this edge. I'm going to try and get as close to the edge as I can. And again, I know I'm using way too much, but unfortunately, this is the slowest I can get it to come out. And I glued it together last night and just let it lay. And I got this skewer because I thought what I would do is just run it up along the insides and see if I could poke it through to see if the glue didn't hold. On that side, the glue held the whole way, and on this side, glue held the whole way. I don't know, I probably can't go the whole way to the bottom, but I can play with the bottom. I think you can see it's all well adhered. Wait, is that a spot I didn't glue together? Nope, that's also glued together. So I think that it is exactly, for me, it is exactly the same result that I get from Art Glitter Glue, but there are a couple exceptions. Art Glitter Glue is much harder to get to come out of your bottle. This actually runs out of your bottle like water. It's very, 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 very thin. And I was thinking about maybe I should have shaken it, and maybe that would make it so that it didn't run out. So that's my last little test, is we're gonna put my finger over the nozzle and do this and see if that makes any difference as far as making it a little bit thicker. Let's see. Maybe that was a difference. It does seem a little bit thicker now. Let me put it on this one so you can see. It seems like when I'm squeezing it out, I get a more consistent line and not so much of a, you do seem to get a little bit of a glob at the very beginning, but that's probably because I don't move it fast enough, you know what I mean? Or I'm squeezing it in midair before I lay it down. That, I think, is my fault, user error. Let me see if I can, there. If you just lay it down, don't squeeze it, and just lay it down, and then squeeze it. You don't get that little dot at the beginning. One more time, we'll do it on this side so you can see it really well, hopefully. Much better. So there's my last idea. You need to shake it before you start it. And I also recommend you doing this to kind of tamp it down, and also you kind of burp it to get, you squeeze it a little bit like you would a Tupperware container. You know, those Rubbermaid containers that you have to lift up the lid a little bit and then squeeze it and then put the lid down. You're kind of doing the same thing with this. You're just going to squeeze it a little bit to get the glue out of the nozzle. And one other thing that in reading the notes that they give you, it says after using the tips, you want to clean the tips after each use with that cleaning pin. And they show you how to do it. You just run it up and down through the nozzles to make sure that the glue isn't going to clog it when you're not using it. I need to figure out a way to make this pin work with a tassel of some kind, because I don't want to have to. The other one seems too tight, but maybe I have a thinner grade steel that I could use. So with that being said, I think you can't go wrong with this glue, especially if you live in a colder climate where you worry that you can't get art glitter glue in the winter months. I think this is a great alternative. In fact, if you have hand or wrist issues, I'm saying this is a much better option for you with the fine tip applicator. This is the first fine tip applicator that I've ever found that I could use and could use consistently. And I really like these little nozzles that turn on and off. They make it really easy to change the tip if you want to change the tip. But I'm going to leave mine as is with the little black tip, because I don't travel with my craft things. And I will never use that larger tip. That larger tip is really nice if you're going to do a really big project where you need a really thick line of glue. I'll show you the opening on that so you can see. You see how wide that opening is? That's going to put out a ton of glue. So I probably will never use that, because I would never need that much glue. And then of course, I'll put this down so you can see it. Then of course you have, this is the tip that you can close your bottle for travel. And then the little, I like the little tube that it comes in, because it comes with this little rubber stopper that I can get it on and off. Usually I can't get those lids on and off either, so that was nice too. So that is Bearly Art Glue. I really appreciate the fact that they sent me the bottle, because I wanted to try it, but you know how much glue I have. I have so much glue. I just wanted to make sure. My viewers asked if I would review it, so there it is for you. I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.